Okay, hi once more time to you. Please leave your signature. Who hasn't left it yet? And pass it further. So for today we have planned to continue learning some new functionality in Java. We will check your homework. After that, hopefully everyone will come and we will take some quiz. I have prepared the new one. So yeah, please raise your hand who has completed your homework. Okay, please send it to me in chat. I will take a look. Privately.
You have to show it.
How to send it?
Yeah.
Okay, haven't
It
you?
will be just faster.
Okay.
Shall I send private messages instead?
Let's see. Loading. So you can just type here my name and it will open the chat with myself. So yeah, that's it. Okay, lecture 9 finish. Okay, so let's read the requirements for the homework and check one of possible solutions. So we had to create a class which name is factory and it should have 3 fields. Class instance variables: name, location, work amount. So name represents the name of the factory, location where it's located, work amount how many workers are working. So and there should be following methods: hire new worker, which receives the professional type of new employee, and when we call this method on some instance of factory, it should increase the amount of existing workers at that factory and print related information that there is working amount of employee, and that there is hired new employee and its professional type. Also, there should be method fire worker, and it also should receive professional type of worker what we are going to fire. It's just for information, these arguments, just to make you more familiar with them, how they are working. And when this method is executed, the actual amount of worker on factory should be decreased by 1. And relative information should be printed for information what we did. Also, there should be method fire all. Then the actual amount of workers becomes 0. And extra method bankrupt factory, calling which we should fire all employees, and we should prohibit following hiring of new workers. So hire new workers method shouldn't be accessible. So it could be accessible, but it shouldn't do any operation further. Okay, so I have prepared some example in order to save our time. So at first we need to declare few fields. It was first requirements: name, location, work amount. You may notice I have added access modifier for them. So in order to prohibit the modification outside of that class.
I have a question. Would it work without the private?
Yes,
We must do it.
it will work, but as I mentioned on previous lecture, it's good practice to use getters and setter for working with class fields. So yeah, we have needed fields, and we have also setters and getters for them. After that, we create needed method hire new worker. So, and you may notice that it's increased amount of workers and print relative information what we have passed. An important case here is that we prohibit we have branching. So if factory not bankrupted, we allow to do worker hiring. If it's bankrupted, we print out related information for user. So factory is bankrupted and we cannot do any operation on it. So sounds reasonable. Another method is fire worker. So it wasn't mentioned in requirements, but it's obvious we can't have less than 0 employees on our factory. So we need to do check. It's extra, but you need to think in advance what bad cases could happen with your application. So if worker amount is greater than 0, we can fire someone. So if it's true, we decrease the amount of workers and print out relative information. If not, we just inform user that there is something wrong. There is no one to fire. And there is method fire all, which actually just fire everyone. In our case, it sets work amount to 0. And another one special method which mark our factory as bankrupted. Initially we fire everyone and set it as bankrupt. Based on state of this field, we check are we able to hire anyone or not. And we have some method we just print information about our factory in order to not write it manually each time. Okay, so it's our class, and here we do some operations. So we create our factory and set its name and location. So basic information what we need. After that we hire a new worker, director, probably someone is needed. Initially there will be zero workers, so let's run it. So yeah, you may check that when we have created it and set name and location, we have 0 workers. After that we hire new worker. Let's hire a few of them. What we have here, so we have hire some employee, print out the state and hire another one. And you might check that after we fire someone, the amount of workers is decreased. So let's make it more obvious. I missed this statement. So after each operation we will have state of our factory. Okay. And we can do fire of everyone. So what we did, we fired everyone and there become no one, and after that we get few other employees. So and let's see what will happen if we will go bankrupt our factory and we'll try to hire someone new. So here we see that our factory is bankrupt, milk factory, and when we try to hire someone else, we get informed that it's not possible because this method checks that our factory isn't bankrupt before it will do some operation. Yep. That it. Okay. Any questions?
It is one of possible solutions.
Yeah. Have you? We can
Uh-huh.
we can check your homework if you have sent.
Yes, I have sent.
Okay.
I have.
Let's check.
And there in homework is one question. Is common line.
Okay. The public class is called Best Factory Java. Probably it's ever. We don't need that one. Just create and yeah. Let's check that it works. Yeah, it works.
I have a question there in comments. First of all, I tried to +1 worker, and in the order where I put pluses, it is different result. So why is that? Is it really?
What I see here, you have you pass probably amount of workers which you are gonna hire.
Yes.
So
but, well, in first I tried only hire one worker, just worker amount plus plus. But their comments, I wrote it down 3 different ways, and there was different.
This one will work. So
And other ones
this operation will not return nothing. So it will just do operation and that's all. It will not return the value. So this one, okay. Yeah. This operation will return something, but it's not accurate. It's supposed to be assign it to some variable. So yeah, as I have mentioned, this plus plus is equal to that one. Okay, so we have chocolate. Yeah. Class name starts with start with capital letter. It's okay, but the variable names starts with small letter. So we need to refactor this. Okay. Okay, so we need to. It's also possible that main method is inside our best factory class. Let's make some method which will print status in order to easier understand what happened there. So just print out the name of the factory, worker amount, don't we have the name? Oh yeah, we don't have a name, we have location. Same with fields. So class variables, it's fields, and they also should start from the small letter. So rename them. Location and bankrupt also should start from bankrupt. We don't need to specify the. We don't need explicitly say that factory isn't bankrupt because default value of Boolean type is false. So, but I would write that it's false to make it more explicitly, but that it's probably my only preference. Yeah, initially what I see, we have some initial amount of workers. It's okay, also possible. So we plan it to and let's print out is it bankrupt or not. Yep, let's print the state of our factory right after we have created it to check out what we have, and it would be interesting to get it here and at the end somewhere. Okay, let's run and check what we have. So we have created a factory, but its location is no, it's not set. We definitely can define it. So because we haven't used this location anywhere, it's okay, but let's go explicitly define it. Let's make it what we have default in right after we have created our factory. There are 25 workers and the company not bankrupt. So what we have later, we have hired 5 worker and we have fired 5 worker. It should be 25. Okay. Okay. And later we do bankrupt of factory. Okay, and when we try to do something, it's inform us. Okay, let's go through some if statements. We don't need explicitly compare Boolean to some value, so it's okay, but better is just to simplify that. That logic would look something like that. So
but by default, bankrupt is false or true?
By default is false, and so if you ask, let's make it explicitly. So yeah, if it's bankrupt, we just inform user that factory is bankrupt and that is prohibited. If everything is fine, we hire a new worker and print that out. Okay, here we have that we have in the Charlie chocolate factory now is working and amount. Why I decided that it's Charlie factory? It's only variable name of your factory. So just more correctly would be just saying in factory now is working and yeah.
And about fire workers, if I wrote down that I fire, for example, 100 workers, but I only have like 25 workers, how to not get a minus workers?
Yeah, okay, so what we have here, so again, this one is redundant. It's good practice to give more meaningful variable names. So who can say what is A in this context?
Like you should write amount of fired workers.
Okay, let's do something like that. So you don't know what is the method name. It's let's assume it's the big method where is a lot of rows. It's bad practice, but it's a pair. So and you have some variable a, and you are thinking, okay, what this a means. So it's not obvious for me reading that, and to make it clear, we should give meaningful variable names and arguments name. So if I will, it will be more clear if I will name it like amount of workers to fire. So, and I think it's more obvious what we are what this variable contains inside. So there is some redundant duplicate A. So the question was how to prohibit go into negative amount of workers. So maybe someone has suggestions.
And if who checks what is the result before we do it?
Yeah, you're right. So
It could be the Nickel thing, no? One is for bankruptcy, one is for equal to 0 or above 0.
Yeah, it's looks like it could be possible, but right now, just for simplicity, at first we check that is it bankrupt or not bankrupt. If it's not bankrupt, we go further into details. So it's possible, you just need to make sure it works. So it's good practice when you at once check one logic. So yeah. Okay, so if this worker amount is less than
Or equal. Less or equal, no? We could fire all.
it should work. So if for example amount is equal, we will just remove and it will be 0. We will deduct the amount of workers. So it's also possible, but you will need to handle yeah, it's possible. You will set 0 and that's all. And we will just say it will be 0. So as I have mentioned for you that it's good practice to do reference to your class objects variable, class fields, using this keyword in order to distinguish your local variables of method from the fields. So, and if else, we're going to do so if there is less workers than we actually going to fire, we will leave 0 workers. So, and we can print some information, but to make to inform user that not all planned amount of workers will be fired, but only part. So, but it's up to you again. Yep. So again, it's redundant and yeah, method bankrupt. So here what we do, we fire everyone. It's okay, and we set that state of our factory to bankrupt, and after that we do check which actually is redundant. So because we anyway will be bankrupt, and the return statement here is also redundant. It's okay, but you don't have any branching logic here, so we will anyway exit from this method, so it could be deleted. It's don't do any work here. So, and I probably will replace that one to this in order to make it more simple. Okay, let's run. Let's check. Yeah, that's it. Okay, I will share both homeworks so that you can go and check them. So okay, I will create new channel for a new lecture. Okay. Maybe someone else want to ask some questions regarding these tasks. Okay, so who hasn't completed this task, please try to accomplish it at home. Just at first look at one of solution and rewrite it from your head, just looking on the task what I have specified. So yeah, just practice and practice. And you may try to add something from yourself, some extra methods, like restore company from bankruptcy, maybe add some money into account. Yep. Okay. What we have on the plan. Just briefly, we'll go the previous lecture topic, what we have succeed. We get familiar with arguments of methods. So now we are able to pass some data into method which we can proceed and use in our code. So it was one thing what is very important, and you will definitely use it many times. We get familiar with return statement. Right now we can retrieve some result of method where it was called. So for example, in this example we had class phone, and we had method which introduced new phone. Inside it does concatenation of some data and retrieve it, return it to us, and we can use it later. So this is achieved with return keyword. What else? So yeah, arguments has type. So if it has Boolean type as first argument, we can pass only Boolean to as first argument. We can pass string. It will inform us that it's prohibited. We took a look into the getters method, which provide fields to us, and we took a look into this keyword, which specify exactly that we are going to retrieve class variable, not that one which is passed. We can see it here. So with this we specify that we are referring to the class variable. You will have highlight here, so it will help you to distinguish what exactly variable to which exactly variables you are trying to refer. And also we just covered setters. What else? Yeah, mainly it was. Oh, we also have covered static variables. So it allows to us share some variable between different objects. So it's variable which accessed outside of object. So it's belong to class. We can refer to it by class name and the variable field name. So in order to create a static variable, we need to use a static keyword before type of the variable. So for now we have looked into the static field. So field, it's class variables. Okay, probably it's everything. Good. Now I will send to you quiz. Okay, I have sent the link in Slack Lecture9 channel. So let's spend on it 13 minutes. Okay, I see you are 15, but there is only 13 signatures. So who hasn't signed it? You may do it later. Okay, who need more time? Then we are waiting for other free pupil. Okay, everyone should be done. Good. So let's go and see what we have. So it's a complicated one. Um, let's simplify it. So this one is the one argument, and that one is the second one for AND operation. We are going by operation from the left to the right, and there is some rules which one is first one should be executed and which second one. It's like in mathematical, like multiplying is going before the sum operation. I send a link, so I hope you have read it, but not fully. It means that left argument and the right one should be true, both, in order to return the result true. So if at least one isn't true, it will return false. In this case, we already see that the left argument will return to us false, and the result will be also false. But let's go further and check what we are having here. So in order to evaluate that part, after that we are evaluating that part, and here we get that requirements that at least one of them should be true. So, and actually it will be true because we can see that that one is true. So the result will be false and true, and it will return false.
So then what is the order? From right side?
In this case, it is from the left to the right. So there is no any parenthesis. So and operation in this case is executed first.
And this is executed first, because now we check or for first. Because we check like the first one, then or as like together.
Like
and
those
then
are
we
in
did
the
that.
bracket.
So which one is first?
It will be this part. You may assume it is in parentheses. So, and then it becomes more explicitly. At first you execute, yeah,
So
you're right.
So or is first,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then n is second.
Yeah.
Always. Or is first.
No.
Like multiplying is first before minus.
So here is the operator order on which they will be executed. So in this case, yeah, logical AND operator will be before our operator.
We just opened for this. So which one is first?
Sorry, I just checked in Java and it says that Java. It's true. The answer is true.
Yeah, because and is first.
Yes, I also think that.
Let's check. Maybe I mixed something up. Let's call it quiz. Create new class. Come on. Yeah, it says true, so maybe I mixed up something not so good as you. Um, I will check this up and let you know. So somehow I don't have answers. I did it yesterday evening and I had answers. So true is correct one. Okay. So true and false. So in such case, we need to have both arguments true in order to return true. Here we have only one true, and the result will be false. Okay, in logical operator, at least one should be true. So there is true. In this statement, at least one should be true in order to return true. So here we are. And another one, tricky. So here we have parenthesis, which says that this part should be executed first. So we will execute this state inside. It will return to us true. And here we will get false. So it will return false. Next one. So we execute statement inside parenthesis. It will return to us false, and we will revert the value because we have a logical not. What will be printed out? I think it's the old one questions, which we had to. Yeah, it will return to us x2 because, as you should know, that increment operation when we have plus signs after will not be handled right at this line. The value will be available only on next statement. Let's go further. Select Java keywords. Okay, so method isn't Java keywords. So what is Java keywords? It's words which is reserved by Java. You can't reuse them. In order to assign them, make them variable names, I use them for class names, method names. So like new, for. So please review. It was on one of the first lectures. So what we have here. So method isn't reserved keyword. So it's just name of subroutines, like it's method. String, it's not reserved word, it's just name of the class which represent text. Class is the Java keywords. loop isn't, but for and while do, they are. Integer is Java keywords. This also is, but exit not. For each signature, what is missing? Okay, so we here have array of elements which type is factory. It's some class. So, and we are going to iterate over each factory. So here we have factories array, and we are going to retrieve only one factory. So here should be factory. So if it would be array of string, we would retrieve element of type string, and later we can refer to it. So in this case it will print out just some Java magic, class name, and reference point in memory, but it's still valid. So yeah. Okay, and we have only one correct answer. What will be printed out? Yeah, it was questions from the previous quiz. I only removed the possible answers. So we have array of integers, which has size of 4 elements, and default initialized value of int is 0. So, and here we assign it to second element if count from the one index system, one value, but we retrieve third element again if you count in a human index system starting from 1, and here will be 0. Yep. What will be printed out in fifth? Okay, we have a loop where we are iterating from 1 until 6 including. So it will print, we are going to take first element 1, so e will be equal to 1. It will not satisfy initially our requirements. It will print 1. We are going to increase our e value with 1, so it will be 2. Again, it will not satisfy this condition. We will increase it, so we are going until 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4 already is printed out, and when it's 5, we enter into this loop. Oh, there is also a hint, so it will skip the rest statement. So in this statement we will stop for further statements in current loop cycle, and we will go further. We will increment it. It will be 6, and it will be printed. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. There are few 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 are not correct answers. So yeah. Oops, I missed what will be printed out in 6 question. Okay, we are iterating from 1 to 10 includingly. So while e is 1, it will not satisfy our condition. We just print it out. We are incremented, and with 2 again it's not satisfied. We print it out, and so far we go until 5th element. So 1, 2, 3, 4 already is printed, and when we come to 5th element, we enter if statement, and we reach a break condition, which says to us fully interrupt the current loop. Okay, in 7th. Here we have declared array of ints. Its size is 3, so 0 element is 5, first element is 6, and second element is 7. And here we define our incrementer to the length of array and reduce it by 1, so it will be 2. And we will continue execute this statement until our incrementer is greater or equal than 0. So initially our incrementer is 2. We go inside this loop, we retrieve second element from our array. Array is 0 based indexed, so it will be last element, so we will retrieve 7 and print it out. With next iteration we need to decrease our incrementer, so 2 decreased by 1 is 1. On first index in array allocated 6, it will be printed out. Again we repeat the operation, we decrease it, it will be 0, and on 0 index is located element 8. So 7, 6, 5 will be printed out. Yeah, there are 3 incorrect answers. So, concatenation. It's well, I have noticed that on previous lecture we had some difficulties to do this, so I included them. Okay, so we have 3 variables, ABC of type string, int value of type int, and double value of type double. And we are passing following statement into printout. We are going from left to right, so we take our first variable and trying to apply plus operation on it. So Java knows that ABC is of type string, and therefore it knows that when we use plus operator we need to add as a string following argument. So in this case it will be ABC and 9. So, and it will be further assumed as a string. And again, it is string and Java C plus operator, and it recognized that it should to concatenate it as a string. So it will be ABC 920 92.0. So okay, probably next question will be concatenation 2. Okay, so what happens here? Java sees that first argument is of type integer, and when it sees the plus operator, it's supposed to apply some operation. So it will do 9 plus 2.0. And because we did operation with double, it will be represented as 11.0, and with next operation we will do again plus operator with double type and string, and it will be 11.0 plus 11.0 ABC. Let me check, maybe I'm wrong. I did it yesterday, I don't have answers. Yes. What we have here. So one correct answer. It was tricky one question, but I hope you get the idea how it works. Should I repeat? Give some another example. Okay. So we have string ABC, which is equal to ABC. We have int value, which is 2. So when we're trying to do plus operator on numbers, Java will do some operation. But when it sees that one of the arguments is string, it will try to do concatenation of some parts with string. So okay, when we do operation on numbers, it will print for us, it will do some operation. It's logical. We can do concatenation. It's plus symbol, so Java should do mathematical operation. But when there is string operator, so you may see Java do actually the same. It navigates to this variable, check its type, and she knows that plus operator should do concatenation, and so it will replace it as string ABC and just combine this value. So it's the same will be if I will write here ABC. But it will behave differently if we will apply here some math operation. So it will initially execute what is inside of parentness and then apply the plus operator on a string. Okay. Concatenation free. So here we have character. We haven't covered it especially deeply, but in material what I have sent there was written that it's easily converted to numbers. So each on map operator, it will be each character will be represented by int value. So in this case, char value is represented as 1, and it will apply mathematical operator. So one of important thing that character is defined using single quotes. So sorry. Mhm. So I forgot that. So A letter starts not from 0, but it starts from the 97. I don't know why it's such. I forgot it. So my fault. But the main idea is that each character is has its own representation in numbers. So here you may see that char A is represented as 97. We just converted, we did casting of this variable. So A has ordering number 97, and 97 plus 9 is 106. So, oh, there was few of you who has compiled it. Great. What will return method get value in current scenario? Get value. Okay, it was related to our latest topic, what we have covered in previous session. We have a class where we have field of object with initial value. So, and we have a method which has argument called value, and later we create new object of this class quiz and trying and calling method get value with value with pass it to the first argument custom value. So, and we return the value. So what will be return statement? It will return custom value because the field variable is hidden by argument what we have passed. They have the same name, as you can see. So in order to resolve to refer to the field, we need to use these keywords, especially in such cases. It's not mandatory, but again, it's good for you to use it right now when you are going to refer to the field of your object. So field, what is defined inside. Okay. Shouldn't there be scenario 2? Something like that. Okay, I will try to get answer for this one in order to make it clear. So, okay. Let's take a break and then we will start a new session. Sorry?
I do not have connection in computer. I tried to solve it, but without success.
Okay, is the physical button here turned on? There is something like that.